Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never ever alone. And I am, for some reason, I thought my camera went blurry on me for a second. Am I going blurry? Is it blurry? There we go. Is that better? That's better. welcome to welcome to live TV, everybody. Is it still blurry? Still feels blurry. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Here on Invisible Condition, we know that life can be interesting sometimes, right? It can be wacky, it can be unpredictable. Um, the other thing is there's always hope. Always hope. Okay. So if you are going through it and you are in a spot where you don't feel like there's hope, um, join us. It's much better here. It's much better in the land of hope. And so I want you to know that there's always hope. And that's my main thing around here. Our nonprofit is called Hydro with Hope. And actually I want to talk to you. That's how much we believe around here about hope. So I want to talk to you for a second just about our nonprofit, the nonprofit arm of our TV show called Hydro with Hope. We actually published a journal called My Hydro Warrior Story, which is designed to walk people through that whole experience of, oh my gosh, what's next? What's going on? Because the condition I was born with actually requires brain surgery every once in a while, and so that can be a little scary. And so that journal is to help people walk through that and make it easier for them and their family to deal with that brain surgery and that experience. Everything comes with it. We also like to meet with those families and speak around the country about how my experience has shaped our family. And so we, if you want to donate, hydrowithhope.com is a fabulous place to do that. Thank you very much in advance for that. And the other thing is, if our mission has grown larger than our ability to accomplish that mission. And so we are actually expanding our board. And so if you or somebody that you know might be interested in talking to us about that to help further the mission of Hydro with Hope, please shoot me an email at InvisibleCondition@e360tv.com. Also, if you're out there and you want to advertise or sponsor our show, I would love to talk to you. We have some amazing sponsors right now, and I would love for you to be a part of that amazing group of people. So if you want to get the word out about your product, service, or ministry or anything through our show, man, drop me a line and let's talk. So, all right. Now, let's talk about our guest. Our guest is awesome today. Drew Deraney is a devoted father, caregiver, and founder of Prophet Compassion. When Drew's oldest son was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, it used to be called Asperger's, but now it's autism spectrum disorder. So that's what we've kind of updated the name. Apparently, it's a thing. But some of us know it by Asperger's, some of us know it by autism spectrum disorder. So just want to throw that out there. When they found that out, he faced not only the challenges of navigating a complex system, but namely the United States medical system. Not only that, but a personal journey of rediscovering a whole lot of stuff about himself and about his family. And so Drew is now a caregiver and family health coach who empowers caregivers and families to prioritize their own well-being so that they can better support their loved ones with resilience and compassion. It's kind of like putting on your oxygen mask before you help the others, right? Very simple, right? But not always easy. Drew helps caregivers rediscover balance, strength, and joy in their journey without guilt, right? That's important. All right, let's bring him on and see where this show goes, man. Bring it on. Hey, Drew, thank you so much for being here, man.
It's my pleasure, Jeff. Good to see you.
Good to see you. This is awesome. All right, there we go. We got some names up there now. Now everybody knows who we are. So I have a question that I like to ask everybody at the beginning of the show, and every answer is correct. I've never heard a bad one in 2.5 years. But so here you go. On those days that are really hard, because
Mhm.
everybody has them.
Mhm.
On those rough days, the dark days, how do you still maintain hope?
Well, I know that we can't go this alone. There's a higher power out there, whether you believe in God or a different entity, the universe. I believe for me, it's God. We need something bigger than us to have faith in. And every morning I'll wake up and say, you know what? I get another chance to do this. And that's the best way I can explain it.
There we go. Now I'm not muted. Can you hear me now?
I
What
hear
was that
you now.
Verizon commercial? Can you hear me
Can
now?
you hear me now?
Oh my Lord. No, you're absolutely right, man. It's true. That's awesome. And I actually, it's funny. I had a dad on a while ago, a few months ago, talking about his daughter that was living with a similar condition, and something happened. They were out and about, and something happened, and it kind of freaked her out. And it was, it kind of made a little bit of a scene, but they got it figured out, and they were back in the car going home, and he goes, "Man, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. It was, sometimes those bad days, and so everybody has the bad days." And she goes, "Dad, it's not bad days. That was just a few minutes. The rest of the day's fine." you know, it's
Aw.
like, oh, see, now it just takes your kid, right, to like
Yeah,
put you back in right place.
absolutely.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's cool. So, well, hey, so your son is the one we're talking about today, and he
Right,
was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder,
right.
which um in the days when, like, before the diagnosis and like right after the
Mhm.
diagnosis, like that's kind of the crazy dicey part, where it's like you're not sure what's going on, and like
Right.
where does everything go and how does everything work. So maybe take us back to those time, and like what did that time mean for your family?
Yeah. Well, and thanks for the question,
Yeah.
Jeff. We were only married 2 years when he was born,
Mm,
and when he was born, it was a normal childbirth. I do recall that he never crawled the typical way of crawling. What he would do is scooch on his butt, as we called it. It would be like
okay.
rear end, heel to knee to rear end, something,
Yeah.
and then so we noticed that, but I had heard a bunch of kids in the past from other people, their kid didn't, crawl exactly the same
Sure.
way or whatever. So I didn't think much of it. And then there were times when he started walking, when it looked like he was thinking, he would run from corner to corner of the room, run back and forth. And we thought that was interesting. Later
Huh.
on, when he was able to articulate, he said he thinks better when he's moving. He can, rather than sitting still. So there was a reason behind that.
Mm,
My wife at the time, she's a nurse, and she wanted to get him tested young. I, first time dad, I was
yeah.
like, he's just, don't catastrophize this. He's just, maybe he just thinks differently. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And though when we sent him to preschool is when stuff started to be seen by people outside the family. And
Yeah.
he would get in trouble a lot, and he was starting to get earmarked as a troublemaker at a young age, at 3, 4 years old. And he would
Mm,
just do things, and then when they would ask him why'd you do it, he wouldn't know. He would Because he really didn't know why.
yeah.
And so that was starting to make us wonder. But of course, I'm here thinking it's just a boy being a boy. I remember when the teacher would say, "Can you go sharpen this pencil?" And the pencil sharpener was across the room on the wall, and he was across the room with these pencils, and he would go right to the pencil sharpener to sharpen the pencils, which makes sense,
Sure.
except there were 3 or 4 kids in the line of sight. And instead of excuse me or moving around them, he would walk through them.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't that he was trying to cause trouble. He was very, very, very misunderstood at a young age. And then finally, it took honestly until he was 14, we had him tested.
Yeah.
and like tested, because initially he had the 504 plan, but we couldn't get an IEP
Right.
until he was tested. So he was tested and tested. Man, he was, autism. And I did not know. I had heard of it through the movie Rain Man. That's all I knew about autism back then. I mean, he was born in
Right.
2002. What did I know? So
Yeah.
I was in that, oh shoot, now what stage for
Right.
me,
Oh man.
Yeah. And it did put a strain on the marriage too, because it was like, why didn't you listen to me and test me
Yeah.
early? Like, it's not my fault, it's like, so it was an interesting time, and it does test your intestinal fortitude, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of torn with that, because it's like, yeah, everybody wants to give your child, your own child, your first child, the benefit of the doubt, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on, he's just a boy, he's normal, he's fine,
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, okay, so you got him tested, so then was that kind of was like, okay, cool, relief, we've got a label for this, we know what's going on, now we can pursue ways to help him? Or was it kind of more angst, or what
No, it's a good question. It was, I'm not one to want to put labels on people, because it somehow like creates this invisible limitation, when you create labels. So for me, he was still my son. My love for him didn't change, or my feelings about him didn't change the minute we got a diagnosis. But yeah, was it a relief to know that there was something there, and there was some help? Yeah. But there wasn't a lot of education as to what was available back in 2002, I mean, because he was gaining weight and stuff, because we learned later on that food was a comfort to him, because he didn't have a safe space anywhere else. He would eat. Well, he was overweight. They said, oh, send him to an endocrinologist. Everything was the Western medicine. I mean, I love this country and all, but our Western medicine, it's like one-way thinking, a lot of it. And I'm now big into the holistic. I didn't know much about holistic thinking or Eastern medicine and stuff like that, but that stuff's been around. The Eastern medicine has been around a lot longer than Western medicine. So to call Eastern medicine alternative medicine is a slap in the face to me.
It really is.
So but I fell into that trap of listening to the Western medicine and let's do this traditional stuff. And right away, the poor kid was put on medication, and we learned the hard way that his brain didn't function the same as others. So if you put him on a depressant, it would stimulate him. When you put him on a stimulant, it would depress him. So it's like, this kid's, his brain is still forming. Why are we doing this? I was not thrilled with that approach. I didn't have really much else to go on, though. So kind of,
I agree. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Dad. I wouldn't have wanted to put my kid on a medication either. That would be the last resort. That has always been my last resort too. I mean, I've got an invisible condition myself that's required 15 surgeries, 7 brain surgeries. I mean, I have fought tooth and nail to never be on a regular prescription medication. Sometimes I've had to fight harder than others, but it feels like, especially when I was a kid, and I feel like it just complicates it, but sometimes it can be. I'm not going to say that medication never helps, because sometimes,
right.
Like, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the Western medical model. You can't craniosacral your way out of brain surgery for a condition.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, those after effects that showed up afterwards from some of those more recent surgeries, the medical community had no clue what to do with it. So we kind of went the other direction and went to the alternative world, and that's why I'm still here, because of that combination of the two. So,
well, you make a good point. The combination of the two is what's important. It's not an either or scenario. They both have their place, and sometimes they have their place together.
Yes,
and
there's whole organizations out there. I had somebody on the show about a year ago that literally has a nonprofit that's designed for nothing else than to bring those two worlds together, because they should be working together.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to find doctors that believe that, though, sometimes.
I know, it's a challenge.
So, I mean, I understand why, you know, with the malpractice insurance and everybody's afraid of being sued and all that stuff, but we got a long way to go, but,
Well, it's the
I'm
first
so
step.
glad you found that.
First step
Yeah.
is having that dialogue. So,
For sure. And the first step also is finding that doctor that will actually have the dialogue.
absolutely,
Some of
absolutely.
them are more open to it, you know, than
Yeah,
others.
it's
So,
true.
so when you look back at that, I mean,
Mhm.
learning about all that and accepting everything that was going on, and then saying, because you got to accept, I mean, you didn't want him to get tested for 14 years, right? So like now you're like, okay, now we're here, you know, what was that, and then kind of evolving into that caregiver role,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I think what was good is, initially we did have a psychiatrist who talked about behavioral therapy, and my wife at the time and I both said, wait a second, there's additional stuff that I think is basic 101 we should do first, because my son would be leaning in this close to the TV. Let's bring him to an eye doctor to see if he can see. He's not able to tell us what does he know the difference between seeing 20/20 and not, because this is
Right.
how he sees. So to the eye doctor, and he needed glasses. And then if it seems like he's not listening to you, maybe there's something wrong with his hearing. Let's take him to an audiologist. So I think there's basic stuff: work on the speech, work on the hearing, work on the eyesight, work on all those kind of things first before you go right into the behavioral therapy and the prescriptions thing. So
Yeah.
we said no to behavioral therapy initially because he was being labeled as a troublemaker. It's like, no, it's not that. Let's make sure he can see, hear, talk, whatever first. And his hearing was fine. He understood stuff. It was more his social skills were delayed and his emotion regulation was delayed. And so we were focusing more on, let's help him with social skills, and let's help him with his emotion regulation, and then simultaneously let's work on the behavioral stuff, not one or the other. So we started with the social skills and the emotion regulation, then we combined that with the behavioral therapy, and it did help him.
Nice. And that's good. And it's nice when you can do that combination, and that you can actually start, like my whole thing is start with the least invasive thing you can possibly start with. And in fact, I have a free download that I give away when I go speak, and when I, if I'm on somebody else's show or whatever. It's and it's all about that. I think I call it the Jeff's top 7 ways to stay out of the ER.
I love that.
And it's super simple stuff, because when you're in the throes of something, when you're in the throes of what you perceive as an emergency, your brain falls out of your head. And the common sense is not so common. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So even things like, have you had enough water today? Did you get enough sleep last night? Did you eat recently? Did you, things like that don't even occur to you. You just think, I'm in pain and I got to go get it fixed.
Right.
And so, so going back to the basics is huge. So
it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I need to go refill my coffee. Are you a coffee drinker, by the way?
I am a coffee drinker.
Are you you're a Starbucks guy, or do you like good coffee?
Well, I mean, I'm not a Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks coffee.
I just threw them under the bus, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Sorry, Starbucks.
For anybody that likes Starbucks, it's not my intention, but I don't call them a coffee company. I call them a milkshake company. But they, but I'm gonna go refill my cup here of coffee. But I want to just so I'll be back with you in just a minute.
Yep.
So give me 1 second, Drew. I'll be right back. Guys, I want to talk to you about something. It's a coffee company. I've been a coffee nerd my whole, the last 10 years. I'm a full on straight up coffee nerd. I can admit it. I absolutely love great coffee. If a bag of coffee doesn't have a date that's within the last couple of weeks, I don't want to drink it. It's just, no, it's not good enough for him. I don't want to drink it. That's why I'm so thankful for Mike at Roast to Order Coffee. They get it. That's all. That's the main part, is they get it. They roast everything fresh. They ship it to your door, and they're always coming up with new, cool, amazing varieties of coffee and flavors and types of coffee and delivery methods for coffee. Like I like to use just the straight up coffee maker. Some people like the Keurig, machine or whatever, with the pods. He's got those too. Whether you like light roast, espresso, decaf, flavored coffee, he's got you covered. In fact, he even has e-gift cards. Hint, hint, Christmas is coming. He's got e-gift cards and coffee subscriptions for the coffee lover in your family. And so those are all available as well. So scan the QR code and your first order will be 20% off if you scan this QR code to do it. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, we will be back in just a minute after we talk to a couple more sponsors, and we'll be back with Drew shortly. See you soon.
Are you being priced out of healthcare? Tired of the prices skyrocketing and having to go to doctors dictated by a network? We feel your pain and have the solution, a nonprofit approach that is ethical and affordable. Take a moment to learn about a way that works better and feels better than health insurance.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. All right. We're all refilled. How we doing? Everybody doing
Good.
okay? All right, good.
All right.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't know where I blame my brother-in-law for turning me into a coffee snob, coffee nerd. So it's good though. It's all good. Life's too short to drink bad coffee. So
That's true.
So I know that we kind of dove into the story in the first segment. If you didn't get to see it, everybody, you should definitely check it out because it was really good, and I want you to hear it. And no matter where you're watching from, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, by the way, if you're watching on one of those, it's really easy for you to comment. So if Drew says something that you're like, whoa, that's not what I've heard, or like a light bulb goes off and you have a question, you wanna, if you're a dad in this situation, whatever, drop a comment in there, and we'll, we can answer your questions or whatever. And then also go to the website, scan the QR code, go to the website. Drew, by the way, what are people going to find when they go to the website?
They're going to find information about my coaching practice for caregivers and family health. And I'm also host a podcast called From Caving Into Crushing It, which you're going to be on, which is wonderful. And they'll learn about my book, which I published in 2023, called I'll Have What She's Having, Memoir of a Reformed People Pleaser, because people pleasing can cause a lot of issues. And there's other stuff there too. I'd like you to take a look, but those are the top three things.
And for any movie nerds out there, that book title should make you chuckle. Okay, I'm not even going to tell you why.
No.
If you don't know, it's because you're not a movie nerd. So go look up that line. I'll have what she's having. You'll get it later.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I laugh every time you say that title. So now you've kind of got a handle on it. You've figured out kind of the ins and outs of taking care of your son.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We were talking 2022. He's in his 20s now.
He's 23 now.
23 now. So you are
2000,
now.
Yeah, he was born in 2002.
Okay.
And diagnosed in 2014, and now he's 23 years old in 2025. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
He was diagnosed 11 years ago. Yeah.
Man, time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Yeah.
Don't blink, right?
11 years ago. I can't even do my math. Not even, it was 9 years ago. Yeah. 14 plus 9.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah.
It seems like yesterday. Time does fly. Yeah.
I mean, that's, when our oldest daughter's 22, and when she was born, that's the first thing my dad said was, "Don't blink, she'll be driving."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy how fast it goes.
Yeah.
But fast forward to now, or to maybe a couple years ago, like when did you start you got the handle on it, and then you started coaching others? You I want to help others with this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting the handle on it, I'm still looking for the handle.
Well,
because it changes as each year, each progression of their life, something else comes up. There's always a lot of firsts that are often delayed. And,
right.
But, the first thing I want to mention is, sometimes parents, when they get the diagnosis, they all of a sudden change their parenting style. And Jen and I didn't change our parenting style. I mean, he still learned how to ride a bicycle, still learned how to drive a car. Our whole idea was don't put limitations on him because we learned that he's got a diagnosis. And so driving wasn't even an issue for him. I mean, I know it is for some. It just happened to be for him. We didn't say, hey, because you have autism, maybe you shouldn't be driving. He's a great driver, and
awesome.
So, but and he still played sports. I mean, we didn't stop him from playing, and I made sure I coached and I was involved. And if he wanted to do something, we let him do it. He was in the Scouts, and when he wanted to stop that, we let him stop that. So any opportunity, and even to this day now, I mean, he's a good community college.
Nice.
He's music production. He's got 3 guitars. He's learning how to play the guitar. He wants me to learn too, so he gave me the first one he got. So I would say there was a time where we were taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah,
we're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and to me that's progress, and we celebrate those wins. Even though he looks at the win being the big picture, like the big, I look at every small incremental step as a win.
Yeah.
You go through caregiver burnout, and being a caregiver is a full-time job. It's an invisible second job.
Yeah.
Very important job. The thing is, though, if we don't take care of ourselves, it's very challenging to take care of our loved one with needs. So,
that's 100% true, man. And my wife would, my wife would agree with you for sure. For the last, let's see, I mean, I've had about 15 surgeries, 7 brain surgeries. All of them were in the childhood. There was 10 of them in my childhood, and then, or about 9 of them, and then 6 of them have happened in the last 12 years. And so we were married for 14 years before any of this started happening that she knew of. And then all of a sudden, brain surgery. So she kind of got pulled into that caregiver world with a jerk, here we go.
Yeah.
And so for somebody that's in a situation like that, what would you tell them? What's the most important first thing to remember as a caregiver?
That there is help out there. And especially with men, we don't usually ask for help. Guys, it's time to redefine what it means to man up. You can be strong, and you can still be empathic and ask questions and admit you don't know. And just as long as you have the boundaries that protect your self-identity and whatever non-negotiables you have in life, don't ignore the fact that there are other people around you that are going through some stuff too. And there are so many people who want to help. And, especially find someone who's is going through it or already been going through it. It's just like anything, even business. If you want to succeed in something, find a mentor who's already succeeded in that.
Yes.
It's the same goes with caregiving. You're not alone. And that would be the first thing I would say, that ask a lot of questions. It used to be the old generation, my parents' generation, was keep everything quiet inside the four homes. Don't air your dirty laundry. No one needs to know what. How do you learn that way? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, you don't want to talk about all the stuff all the time to the wrong people. Pick and choose, do it in the right setting, but you have to let stuff out and not suppress, toxic stuff. You've got to be able to release and ask. That's the only way to stay at the top of your game.
It's true. It's true. Well, and on the other side of the coin, the person that you reach out to, like, be that person. If somebody, the default response to, like, my wife, when I went into my first of 6 surgeries in the last 12 years, it was emergency. It was like really emergency surgery. I was in there really quick, and she was freaking out, and she just started calling people for help. She just started calling people, and she didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to start, what to ask for. She's sitting in a hospital waiting room with her husband in emergency surgery, not knowing what's happening. And she called a bunch of people, and 2 of them, and most of them were like, okay, let me know if there's something I can do. And 2 of them said, where are you? Or one of them said, where are you? I'm on my way. And that was the one that she's like, oh. And then all of a sudden she just relaxed. It was like, oh, thank God, and she didn't even come because she was an expert in what I was going through. It was, she didn't know anything about the situation. Right. She just knew that even if she just sat with my wife, that was enough. So,
that's huge.
So, I mean, is that kind of stuff? Is that some of the stuff that you talk about with people? Because that's stuff that's important.
Well, absolutely. You need a support system. I always recommend find 2 family members, 1 neighbor, and then somebody you pay.
Oh, there you go.
To help out. So because that way the family members will be nearby and they know the situation. The neighbor's right there. God forbid something really bad happens, and use some of the money you have to pay somebody to give you some respite care. Caregivers need time off. I mean, I know caregivers are dying to have a whole week off, but hey, let's give you an hour off. Let's give you 15 minutes at least, because many caregivers don't even give themselves 15 minutes to breathe. So that's very important.
Yeah. Well, and caregivers, whether it's paid or unpaid, by the way, I mean, my wife was my built-in unpaid, very compassionate caregiver. And
absolutely.
And, she didn't get, and we had 3 kids, three small kids at the time. So talk about not having time off. So when the grandparents said, hey, let me take the kids for the afternoon, or what, let me, whatever, find those people. You're absolutely right. Seek them out, because they're
absolutely. People are going to offer help, and many times we'll say, okay, thank you. Sometimes there's a 5-sentence way to go and say, thank you for your offer. Can you spend 90 minutes with me tomorrow? Can you pick up my groceries? And if you can't do that, can you make a meal? And then I'll text you to remind you, because sometimes that sympathetic offer becomes a real solution when you because people are offering because they want to, they just don't know what to do. So you got to give them steps on how to do it.
Exactly. In fact, that reminds me, my wife and I actually taught natural childbirth classes years ago for 5 or 6, 8 years, something like that. We like home birth type, like natural childbirth classes, right? And one of the resources that the center that we were teaching them at had was literally a workbook that you filled out while you were pregnant, right? Not leading up to the baby's birth. And so by the end of the pregnancy and by the time the baby was born, it was all filled out, and it had everything like, this is how my towels need to be folded. This is how I like to have my dishes done. This is how I like my bed made. This is this is where everything is in the kitchen, so you don't get confused. And then when people say, hey, is there anything I can help? And they come over to hold the baby, they hand them the book and say, find something, get to work. You know what I mean? Like, here you go. And so, so that there's no mystery. It's not like, because otherwise the caregiver or the person is doing more work anyway, because they have to tell them how to do it.
Exactly. That's a good point. Very good point.
Might be, something to throw out there for anybody that's, wondering what kind of resource might be valuable in the world. That's one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That actually would be helpful. I used to work in hospitals, and, the mother would give birth and then say, okay, here's your new gift. Go home now. Now, it was never, usually we didn't ask, like, well, do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house? How many staircases? Is there an elevator?
Yeah.
Where do you keep your glasses? How high on the shelf? Because you're not going to be able to reach that high. Or who do you have that might be able to help you reach? Because, if you had a C-section, you don't want to. I mean, it's those types of questions we don't ask about the environment people are going back to. They may do it now, but that's something I definitely cried for when I was working in the hospital. It's like, we got to prepare people, not just after giving birth, but after surgeries or whatever. We're sending them home. It's still just because we're discharging from the hospital doesn't mean our job ends.
Oh, no. No. In fact, I had a surgery in 2000. That first emergency surgery that kind of kicked off all those 6 was an emergency abdominal surgery. And I had what looked like a giant C-section scar after that. It was like an 8-inch scar right up the middle of the abdomen. And it was nuts. It was such a painful recovery because you can't, I swear, I kind of say this sarcastically, but it's kind of true. You can't blink without using your ab muscles.
Good point.
You use them for everything. And so that kind of help would have been huge. And it was all on my wife and kids. And so, more help would have been amazing during that time.
Yeah.
But we just don't know what you don't know. So
we all want to know what to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in those instances, I'm not talking about seeing the future. I'm talking about if people know what to expect, then share that with the person who's going to be going through it, because that takes a lot of the stress and anxiety and worry away when you know what to expect, and then you can plan and prepare rather than be surprised, or even worse, have to go back to the hospital for a ruptured something, stitches rupture or something like that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball of wax, man. When you're recovering, please recover. And don't just I've had surgeries that I've come out of that I've done it right and some that I've done it wrong. And it's definitely a difference. So for sure. Man. Well, I'll tell you what, man, we're gonna go to one last break, and then we'll come back, and I wanna, let's talk about some fun stories if you got some, or like how to connect with you a little more, or anything coming up, or maybe we can talk more about the book, and maybe people will catch on to the title now. I feel like I should have that clip like queued up for us, Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you guys in just a minute. Stick around.
Hey everybody, Craig Tomanini here, founder and CEO of Ask Craig T, and I wanted to do a quick reminder about our podcast every Friday, 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You can find us on YouTube and on all of our social media platforms, so be sure you tune in. Don't miss all the valuable information we're going to give you about how to scale your business using technology.
Are you being priced out of healthcare? Tired of the prices skyrocketing and having to go to doctors dictated by a network? We feel your pain and have the solution, a nonprofit approach that is ethical and affordable. Take a moment to learn about a way that works better and feels better than health insurance.
Tired of losing cell service in dead zones? Concerned about connectivity in emergencies? There is now an answer. Introducing the Love Pod. The world's first affordable encrypted global internet Wi-Fi hotspot connects with multiple service carrier networks and is satellite assisted when no service carrier networks are available. So it works virtually anytime, anywhere. Connect up to 9 devices, like our cell phone, laptop, desktop, TV, security cam, and more. Stream, chat, text, download, and make phone calls, all with no roaming fees. With mesh capability, the Love Pods will grow in strength and speed with each new pod activated to create a private terrestrial-based intranet called Love Global Network. The Love Pods are dual blockchain encrypted with Love's proprietary 2048-bit cube chain encryption, giving you the ultimate protection in data privacy and security against digital attacks and hacks to your devices. You are no longer tracked, and your data is never sold. Get the Love Pod, your private, encrypted, portable global internet Wi-Fi hotspot, and stay safe and stay connected.
Hi, I'm Amy Joy, and I'm the host of Get Your Together Live with Amy Joy. And you can catch me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific on the amazing Trajectory channel right here on E360 TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm still chuckling about the title of your book. I'm sorry,
That's all right.
I love it. I think it's awesome. The best book title I've heard in years. So, do you have a copy right there?
I do. Give me a second. Hold on.
If not, that's okay. If you do, great.
Actually, it made me realize I should keep one right by my desk because.
Yeah. We should have talked about that before we hit the air, huh?
So this is the cover, and his favorite part of it is the "I'll have what she's having" right here. Memoir of a Reformed People Pleaser. So, should we tell them the name of the movie, or are we going to let them?
Yeah, I guess we could tell them.
So I didn't name it because of the name of the movie, but the name of the movie is When Harry Met Sally, and there's a scene where it's actually I found out it's Rob Reiner's mother, who's the elderly character who says, "I'll have what she's having" after Meg Ryan does her little skit. But I named it that because when I learned I was a people pleaser during the course of this book, my whole reason for doing this was for the Drew of now to really teach the Drew of years past. I wanted to look back and see all my major decisions in life and find out like what my patterns of decision making were. Why did I make the decisions I made? And so what I realized is I was a people pleaser my whole life. I would make decisions based on wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted. And I don't know where this came from because I had no trauma about anything growing up. And I never felt comfortable in my own skin, and I wanted to be the popular ones. I wanted certain people to like me and to fit in. And so one of the best examples is I would be going either out on a date or with my wife or after the divorce on a date, whatever. We'd go to a restaurant, and I'd look at the menu, and I'd see maybe the steak or the burger or the ribs. I'm like, I'm going to get that. And the waitress would come and always go to the woman first. "Ma'am, what would you like?" And she'd say like the salmon, the chicken, whatever it was. And then, "Sir, what would you like?" And I'd be like ready to say, and I'd be like, that salmon sounds really good. I'll have what she's having. And I'd be like, why did I do it? But I know now I did it because sometimes the woman would be like, "Oh, we have something in common, that's really, and then I continued to do it even after the divorce until I'm writing this book. And I realized, and actually it was the movie Runaway Bride.
Oh yeah.
It made me realize I was a people pleaser because I won't give away the movie, but it was Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. But in the last scene, because what Richard Gere found out as a journalist was that each fiance that she was with, for some reason, he asked the fiancés, each one of them, how did she like her eggs?
Mm.
And for each fiance, she would say exactly the way the fiance liked them. So if fiance A liked hard-boiled eggs, she would say, "Oh, my favorite eggs are hard-boiled eggs," and it would be something set up. And the last scene, she's shown in the kitchen making eggs a variety of different ways, and she finds Richard Gere in New York and yells out Benedict, and he said, Arnold, Benedict Arnold is a joke as a traitor. She goes, "No, Benedict, eggs Benedict. Those are my favorite eggs." And I remember starting to tear up when I heard that.
Yeah.
And I had seen the movie before, but I had a different context now. And I was like, oh my God, I've been pretending I've liked the same different eggs depending on who I'm with. That's people pleasing at its worst.
Yes.
You know? And so that's I almost called the book was almost called How Do You Like Your Eggs? Like learning who your true self is or something like
Nice.
that. I decided, let me just tell them I want to get out of this people pleasing stuff. And so that's,
if you ever do another book, you already got the title figured out.
I know, really.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that. Well, and part of that is, so a lot of people don't realize this, but that's actually part of the sympathetic nervous system regulation thing, right? There's a sympathetic nervous system and there's a parasympathetic.
Right.
And the sympathetic is, a lot of people leave this part out, but everybody talks about fight or flight, but everybody leaves out the freeze and the fawn. The fawn, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fawn is where the people pleasing is. That's actually a dysregulated nervous system. Really what that is. And it's no wonder you're not knowing which direction is up,
Yeah.
And that can bring on all kinds of extra things with it. So
absolutely.
So that's an important book right there. I love that, because that's you gotta snap out of that.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, the thing is, the thing that finally got me to realize, let me go find out what my true purpose in life is. What's my why? Like, why am I here? Why do I believe what I believe? Not what other people told me to believe when I was growing up. What do I truly believe? What are my non-negotiables? Ethically, morally, all that. And it's a better way to live when you can be authentic in who you are. Not only is it you feel in alignment and congruent with who you are, you attract people you want to be with, as opposed to attracting the wrong people. And it's just a better way to live, I believe.
Totally. I am with you, and I'm sure there are thousands of people out there right now thinking the same thing. Yes, it's just getting there that sometimes can be tricky. So simple, but not always easy.
Very true.
So, well, we've got about 5 minutes left here. What would you like to leave our audience with in these last 4 or 5 minutes? Like, maybe if somebody was discovering that they did what you did and got their son or daughter tested, and now all of a sudden they find themselves in this caregiver space, what would be the first thing you'd tell them?
First thing I say is choose to write your own story instead of letting others write it for you. And what I mean by that is, do the research, find out yourself. Don't just listen to what one person says. Because the thing is, if we just listen to the headlines or what people say we're supposed to do, that's really us standing on the sidelines during the game. If we stand on the sidelines during the game, somebody else is going to dictate the result of the game. You got to get in the game, write your own story, make your own decisions, do your own research, ask the right questions to the right people. Because when all is said and done, if you're writing your own story, then that biography is yours, as opposed to letting someone else write it for you. Because if you stand by the sideline, people are going to write your story for you. And then on your deathbed, you're going to have so many regrets. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's true, man. That is no way to go. Regrets having regrets, whether it's on your deathbed or in your life, is just a terrible thing. That's another thing that could bring on unwanted health issues,
Just true.
Beating yourself up like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, I love it. Is there anything else you want to we still got a couple minutes. Anything else you want to any pearls of wisdom you want to drop on our audience before we go?
Well, if you look at the numbers, a high percentage of caregivers are divorced. And I'm not going to say that if I did it differently, I wouldn't have gotten divorced. The divorce was going to happen no matter what, because we just were not compatible in the long run. But the point is when you're going through this, don't forget your significant other. We were doing a lot. We had another son who had Crohn's disease. So we were busy in the beginning parts of our marriage and the kids' births trying to diagnose autism and Crohn's disease. And meanwhile, school and sports and errands and doctor's appointments and all that.
Yeah.
When all was said and done, we didn't kind of recognize each other anymore. And when I look back at that, when we first met, there were 4 what I call taboo topics we didn't really discuss in depth, and we should have. So if you're a young couple, I strongly suggest these 4 topics discuss early and often and get on the same page. And that's sex, religion, politics, and money.
Oof.
Because one of those 4 things is going to be how your marriage unravels if you cannot communicate well on those 4 topics with your significant other. Yeah. So get to learn the thinking language of your husband, get to learn your thinking language of your wife. Men and women think differently. We know that. So it just behooves us to understand that thinking language and learn how to communicate better with the opposite sex. And then when that happens, you're going to improve your communication, and then it's going to improve your relationship, and it's going to improve your marriage. And I'm saying this because I want to stop the divorce rate or lower the divorce rate in this country. I also want to lower the male suicide rate. Yes. We're 50% of the population, 80% of suicides. Now, if you look at why men die by suicide, it's isolation and lack of connection with human beings. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer that if we can learn how to communicate better, right? Man up, redefine what it means to man up, communicate better, use our emotions when they're necessary, and just don't stop being who you are just because society tells you, right? And the lack of connection, I swear, women, when they have friends, they have a vertical friendship. They build roots and get to talk about the root cause and really get after things. Yeah. Men, we have a lot of friends, but it's like a horizontal friendship where we just scratch the surface. We don't go underneath the surface. Yeah. We'll go to a bar and talk about girls and cars and beer and sports and think when the hangover dissipates, our problems are gone. Well, no, they're still there, and they're going to get worse. So I want to see strong men be with strong women so we can have strong children, strong family, strong community, and men then live longer too. And so we're not dying 6 years younger than our female counterparts. A lot of stuff there, but I'm on a mission. So
I appreciate it, man. That is huge. And I love that you said that out loud, because that's some of the stuff that we don't say out loud. So it needs to be.
Absolutely.
So, man, Drew, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, Jeff. My pleasure.
For being so open. And I mean, this has been amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure, pal. Thanks for having me on.
All right, here we go. Holy cow. All right. I learned something. I don't know about you guys, but I learned something every stinking show we do. I feel like I learned something. I learned I need to go get that book is what I learned. So, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, no matter where you're watching from, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you have been watching for a while, I know you know the drill, like, subscribe, share, follow, all the things, YouTube, Facebook, get those reminders set so you know when the next show's coming. And so the next show, coincidentally, is going to be Friday, November 14th. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. Till then, have an amazing day. We'll see you.